Hello guys, it's Mechaholic back with another video, and today we have a quite unique thing for today. So I have been working on a project with Corey and Luke, the Brickbuilders, recently, and we were going to do some sort of futuristic thing with some mechs attacking a base and that kind of thing, just like have spaceships and stuff. And I prepared a video about a spaceship that I had partially built. But unfortunately, that did not pan out. So that is partially why it's been so long since I've released a video. But here we are again. And I'm going to show you all the little micro mechs that I've built while I've been gone. And I'll show you how to build some of them yourself. Oops, I'm terribly sorry. So this is my first one that I built. These guys are for the space police, like a drop ship that I might be building. We'll see how that pans out. I don't know. But he's like kind of space police colors. I may change his like eyes and chest just because that's the light blue, and I may need to make it the dark blue if I'm really going space police. And same with the sword. I mean, I got that off an existing mech. If you guys know the old classic space mech that I built, I just got that off there, added a new handle on it to make it better. Yeah, so let's get right in it. So he's got some very, detailed legs. And they bend like that. That's how far they can bend that way. They bend that far this way. And the feet can also go like this and like this. The hips can go like this. And if you wanted to, you could twist the wrench and make that one twist, but it's not really needed because you got this, unless you need to twist past this point. So that's about it for the legs. Now onto the body. I really like how this like arc reactor thing turned out. I just needed something to put there because this piece sticks out a lot. So I needed something to have it cover, and the core really helped. It looks awesome from the outside. He's equipped with a jetpack. It would be like a booster, so not a long range jetpack, just kind of boosts and shoots into the air, and then he lands and attacks. And also I thought this little Republic symbol would be nice, just because I can't. Arms, he can move like that, and this can move like that. And also down to here, this can move like that, and it can also, if I can get it, anyways, it can also move like that, right there. But I mean, it's kind of unnecessary, because you can move the same right there. And just got a normal hand, can't move that. I mean, you don't really need to for a mech of this size. It's not like he's gonna have fingers or anything. So that's about it for this guy. And I really like, this is my first frame. I like how you can have him like in a different, like, what's the word? So he's standing a weird way right now, but if you change his legs, he could be standing almost upright. That's how it looks. But while he's still standing like normal. Like you can see that now he's standing more upright when he was like kind of hunched over earlier. Not a lot of my other mech frames can do that, which is cool. But also, he's got this little back thing. I don't know if you can see that T. Yeah, you can see that T right there. He can bend his body Hold up. He can bend his body like that. So if you need him to be like bending backwards, but you still need his hips in the same spot, you can just have him like bending backwards and like slicing. So kind of like that. And it kind of looks cool. And also, you can have this little popped off, and then it's like kind of separated. So he could be lying on the floor like battle damage or something. But this is my first mech, so I didn't use that much plating on him as I should have. But as I have done later, you will see, I made a different one of the same type that has more plating, and this one would be like an old model, and it's a veteran because he has a lightsaber. So, on from that one, the next mech that I built is the Blacktron themed mech. This one. And I really like how black this one turned out. I tried to get it as black as possible. And the red lightsaber really stands out, even though he has a yellow eye. I don't know if you can see that, but he has a yellow eye. Slightly different frame for this one. They all have different frames because I've tested out different designs. This one's... Ooh, I broke it. That's unfortunate. There we go. Anyways, as I was saying, this one can bend like that, but it can't bend very far backwards because of this little back piece I had for detail. That's just a little sad. It's got the same feet and the same torso to leg connection. Same thing with torso to arm connection. But this one is a slightly better bending back feature. It bends back, but since it's all black, it actually looks like he's bending rather than just like he's breaking himself. But it's pretty much the same arms. It's a very similar style frame, except for his forearms right there. So that's very different. This one you can bend more, but you also have to rely on this joint right here for side to side. Which is, it's not bad. It's actually a good design. It's just I preferred the other ones, but I did not have those pieces at the time, so I just used that for this guy. And he's got like searchlights on his back. I would have him searching for like a escape prisoner or something. And he's got wrench hands, so you can twist them just like that. Going to his back, it's a single thruster rocket jetpack, and this one would be more of a long range, so you just go psh, and then he would land with this as well rather than just like dropping like the other one does. This one has a very similar style head to the other one. It's just different in that it has this part and the chin is non-existent. So that's also a good thing with this one, 'cause I like adding that little bit of extra back detail. You guys know I like detailing the back of my mechs more than the front, which has been a bit of a problem. But basically, that's this guy done. I mean, he's got a very similar lightsaber design. Little different things, like vents there, different piece on the front. But it's pretty much the same thing. I just designed it off the other one. This would just be like the bad guy version of the earlier one, because it's got like vents on the arms you can see, just like the other one does. So it's much of a copy, but slightly different frame. And he looks really cool in comparison to the other one because of how black all of his plates are. And like he's just like very monochrome and cool looking. But besides him, on to the next one, which is a very different one from the first two. This guy. So he doesn't stand up the best, considering he has droid bodies as feet, not the stud-based ones. But he can stand up like that. See, both my hands are here. I just kind of wanted to test out a buff mech design. I didn't really accomplish what I wanted, and this one might be scrapped later. But he's got a chainsaw arm, and it's just kind of a similar design for the arm. But this one can rotate more, which I like. That's partially because of the chainsaw. Just so he can rotate it different ways and cut in different ways, depending on the angle of what he's cutting. And he's got a very flat head and a very wide body. And his hips can rotate with this little back thing here. And he's got a gun on this arm. It's just the same arm, it just looks different. It's detailed different, it has a different weapon. Very buff legs. And I like this little droid arm detail. Like you can just push this, and it'll push the foot as well, even though they're not. This should move, but they're newer pieces, so they have a lot of friction. Same knees. These ones can't go much forward, but they can go a lot backwards. And same hips, or same body to leg connection and arm to body connection. It's just different because he's had these shoulder pads, which is a little bit different. You can move them up, and it looks like he's kind of slicing. It's like raw. I mean, I like the way that this one poses, but besides that, that happens, and also it's just kind of a little bit of a sloppy design. So I might redo him or just totally give him up. I don't know about him. But now, to this guy, which is probably my favorite one. It's also my most recent one. And it is a copy of that guy back there. But this one would be a newer model. And so he's more shiny and has a lot of plates and stuff. I really like how this front body especially turned out. It's like a bulge. And he also has the bending body ability. But this time, he has a droid body back there. Which leads for, he can do, like, push his body forward and push his body backwards without having to bend the whole thing like that. This guy's only got a single engine jetpack, but it's really cool looking. I've detailed it a lot. And that thing could be another engine, maybe? I mean, I don't know. It could be just like an oxygen tank or something to fuel it. But he's equipped with a blaster pistol with a mag in the bottom and a sight. Not that he would really need a sight because he's a highly advanced computerized mech. But, you know, whatever. This one's very similar to the Blacktron's head, but it doesn't have that back piece just to make it more streamlined. And he's got a little bit bulkier shoulders than the other mechs. And he's got rotating hands. A little bit different body style here, frame. We got the T piece, which is a really good piece. I've used them in all of my mechs. It's really flexible and awesome. As well as this piece. It's really good as well. See, this one's very highly posable. You can move it in a whole lot of different directions. Which is what I like about these frames. They came out really posable. I had to do like 4 or 5 different tries before I got the first frame. And I just kind of built off that with these other frames. And it's got a little bit different feet. And just about the same thing for the rest of him. But he's probably my favorite one. I just like how he turned out with all the plates and stuff. Makes him look really industrial and new compared to the other ones. So yeah, that's pretty much it for him. I could knock my camera again. It's very unprofessional. And lastly, I'm going to show you this one later. So basically, for the rest of the video, I will show you guys. I will take off the plates on all these mechs and show you guys how hard it is to make these frames, and hopefully help you to build some of your own. All right, we're now back, and I have taken all the plating off the frames to show you guys just how I made these. So this here is the first frame, and it's like very based off of what I was able to get at the time, and I tried to make it Gundam-y, but the only part I succeeded in that was the elbows. They're really fat, but I didn't want to do that for the other ones. So and the wrist would rotate, but since I have the plates on the sides, when it's all plated up, they don't turn. So, I mean, that's a little bit of a bad thing, but I think it's fine because you can just turn his whole arm. You've seen the flexibility, but basically, the main feature of this one is this little thing, which I just take that piece right there, put it on both sides, and then have one in the middle, and have it attach via a T-joint on the back that is into this snot brick right there. I mean, that's pretty much it for this one. So we are on to the next one, which is the Blacktron mech. Here it is. You'll notice, oops, that this one is a lot more black. That's because I wanted to blend the parts into the Blacktron style and make it as black as I possibly could. It's basically the same frame except for the arms. You can see that part very clearly right there. He's got wrench hands. His knees are different. So like in this one, let's put them side by side. This one, the knees, the T-joint goes forward. This one, the T-joint goes directly into the snot brick. I must have not been thinking on the knees for that one because it's much better to do that. Although with this one, I may have been thinking that you can only bend it backwards. It's like this one, you can go backwards a whole lot. As to this one, you can only go backwards to there. And you can also go forwards, which is not naturally human. So, I mean, that's what I might have been thinking. But I honestly don't think it matters in the grand scheme of things because the mechs aren't human anyway. And I don't know. I just don't think that that's really a thing I should be worried about. So take that aside. And now we are on to the red mech, which frame actually looks way better than it plated up. So what I think I'm going to do for this one is redo it. Just take the basic frame, maybe have a few alterations like the feet. Feet are definitely bad. I'm changing them because it hardly stands up. Like, you have to get it really balanced. I can't even get it balanced. Yeah. So I mean, I just want the blaster and chainsaw thing to stay. Probably gonna do a different style mech for this guy. Maybe I'll redo the frame and make him an actual like shorter buffer bot, but Not so sure about that one. But this one's very different frame because his shoulders have no snot bricks whatsoever in them. And his waist is different, his body's different. Pretty much the whole thing's different except for the legs, which is the exact same as the last one except for the feet, which I didn't know how to do apparently. And the arms are just a similar concept. They're just differently laid out. And they didn't use a T-joint in them, which made this one slightly offset. But that's fine. Yeah, that's basically it for him. And then to the new, the Blaster Mac, the white one. This one is probably one of my best frames. I would like how the feet turned out on this one. You may not be able to like rotate like this on the other one, but you don't really need to unless you're putting them down on a stud base, which I might actually be doing, so I might have to change the feet in all these mechs for the MOC. Not sure about that yet. Not sure about anything for the MOC. The body is also pretty flat like the other one, the red one. And I also use this piece, which allows me to put plates on there, put a plate there, as well as put a plate there. And I also got the droid body back here, which allows him to bend like that. And also it saves me a T-joint, which I really need the T-joints for the knees and elbows of the other racks that I'm building. He also has broad shoulders. And he's got a different thing here. The T-joint is sticking into that. Usually it's sticking into this. Which makes it so that I cannot remove these because they are attached to this, and I've removed that. This whole thing comes off. So, but that's not a bad thing. That's actually just a different way I approached it. As you will see with the next one, which you have not seen yet. This is my latest mech I'm working on. Very white. Got a lot of parts from Atlanta Brick Company, which helped me start back up this program, so to speak. It's like very black and white. I think the only gray pieces are just the T-joints and the cracks there. And that piece, the clip. But this is sticking into there, and as a result, you have these wide things. I don't know how I'm going to tackle that yet. And it's pretty much the same frame as the most recent one, except the other one used a clip here. I just decided to use a wrench. That's a better use of pieces. I used a wrench here as well. I used wrenches rather than clips because I have more wrenches. So wrench. I had to do clips there because the wrenches would be too wide. Same with there, because the wrenches would just contact with each other and be sticking out too much. Besides that, I put the wide part here because I stuck this into this part. Usually it's stuck into this part. And I made it wide here because I didn't like how all my mechs were very wide here rather than here, because most Gundam mechs kind of go down. Get bigger as they go down kind of thing, or like taper here and then just go small. So that's the main reason behind that. And also I can probably just like stick one of these there maybe. Or maybe that's too wide. I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out when I build it. That's pretty much it for this mech. So, let me guys know what you think. I'm going to plate up that mech that I just showed you, and then do the red mech. And probably redo that one. So, see you guys later.